Your thoughts are not thinking you. You are thinking your thoughts. And until you grasp the power of that simple truth, until you seize control of the invisible force that shapes every moment of your existence, you will remain a prisoner in your own mind, a slave to random impulses, emotional storms, and the chaos of undisciplined thinking. But not today. Today, you reclaim the throne. Today, you become the master of your mental kingdom. Today, you learn the exact three-word command that made Edison unstoppable, discover the secret mental formula Carnegie used to build his empire, and unlock the one technique that Ford whispered to himself every morning before revolutionizing the world. Most men think they think, but what they actually do is react. They let thoughts flow through their minds like water through a broken dam, without direction, without purpose, without control. And then they wonder why their lives lack focus, why their dreams remain distant, why success feels like something that happens to other people. You are not other people. You were not born to drift in the current of random thoughts. You were designed to be the architect of your mental landscape, the commander of your inner world, the one who decides what thoughts get to stay and what thoughts must go. And if you're serious about transforming not just how you think, but how you create, how you build, how you command reality itself, then hit subscribe right now, because I'm going to be walking with you through the full journey. Not just today, but every step ahead. These aren't casual conversations. These are deep constructions of mental mastery. And if you stay locked in, if you truly commit, you won't just change your thoughts, you'll change your entire existence. But this is only the beginning of what I discovered when I spent 25 years studying the minds of over 500 of the most successful men in history. Let me tell you what's really happening in your mind right now. At this very moment, thousands of thoughts are competing for your attention. Worries about tomorrow, regrets from yesterday, random fragments of conversations, fears that may never manifest, desires that pull you in 10 different directions. Your brain processes over 70,000 thoughts per day. Most people are aware of maybe 5% of them. The other 95% run in the background like invisible programs, shaping your emotions, influencing your decisions, creating your reality without your conscious participation. You think you're in control, but you're not. You think you're the one deciding, but the truth is, untrained thoughts are deciding for you. They're telling you what's possible and what's not. They're whispering limitations. They're rehearsing failures. They're building prisons made of doubt, fear, and scattered focus. This is why most men live the same year 40 times and call it a life. This is why they work hard but never get ahead. This is why they start projects but never finish them. This is why they dream big but settle small. Their thoughts are not their servants. They are the servants of their thoughts. But here's what Napoleon Hill discovered after studying over 500 of the most successful men in history. And I'm going to share with you the exact 7 principles they all used. But first, you need to understand the devastating cost of mental chaos. Andrew Carnegie didn't become the richest man in the world by accident. He became wealthy because he knew something that 99% of people never learn: the 5-step mental formula that turns any thought into physical reality. But before I give you that formula, let me show you how the untrained mind destroys everything it touches. Henry Ford didn't revolutionize transportation because he was the smartest man in the room. He did it because he discovered the one daily practice that makes thoughts obey commands. I'll reveal that practice in just a moment. But first, you must see how Ford escaped the mental prison that traps most men. Your mind is not a democracy where every thought gets a vote. It's a kingdom, and you are meant to be the absolute ruler. But most people have never claimed their throne. They've never established law and order in their mental realm. They've allowed chaos to reign where clarity should rule. Let us go deeper into what the masters understood. Thought control begins with one fundamental recognition. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. You are the one who can watch them arise, examine them, judge their value, and decide their fate. When a thought enters your mind, you have 4 choices: accept it, reject it, reshape it, or replace it. Most people only know the first option. They accept whatever thought arrives, regardless of whether it serves their purpose or sabotages their progress. But the master of thought control examines every mental visitor. Who are you? What do you want? Do you align with my definite chief aim? Do you strengthen my resolve or weaken it? Do you move me toward my goal or away from it? But what I'm about to reveal will completely transform how you see the power of directed thinking. Let me give you the first law of thought mastery. What you focus on expands. What you ignore contracts. What you repeat becomes reality. This is not philosophy. This is mental physics. Your attention is like water flowing down a hillside. Whatever channel it flows through gets deeper. Whatever path it follows becomes more defined. Direct your attention deliberately, and you carve new pathways in your brain. Let it flow randomly, and you reinforce whatever patterns already exist. Thomas Edison understood this principle completely, but he had a secret technique that I'll share with you shortly. 3 specific words he would repeat exactly 47 times each morning. This technique is so powerful that when you learn it, you'll never struggle with mental discipline again. Vague thoughts create vague results. Definite thoughts create definite results. If you want to master thought control, you must first master definiteness. You must know exactly what you want your thoughts to create. Most people think in generalities. I want to be successful. I want to be happy. I want more money. But the subconscious mind doesn't respond to vagueness. It responds to clarity, specificity, and emotional intensity. The successful men Hill studied didn't think in abstract terms. They thought in exact specifications. Carnegie didn't think, I want to be wealthy. He thought, I will create a steel empire that produces exactly this amount of revenue by this specific date through these exact methods. Now, let me reveal the real secret that will change everything you thought you knew about success. Your thoughts must be equally definite. Not, I want to be better, but I will master this specific skill through this exact practice by this definite deadline. Not, I want to be confident, but I will speak with authority, walk with power, and command respect through disciplined daily action. Write down your definite chief aim right now. Not tomorrow. Not after you finish watching this. Now. Take a piece of paper and write the exact outcome you want your thoughts to create. Be specific. Be detailed. Be definite. Now read it aloud. Let your voice give it life. Let your ears hear your command. Because when you speak your thoughts with conviction, you're not just expressing an idea, you're installing a program into your subconscious mind. But this is where most people fail. And I haven't told you yet about Carnegie's secret mental formula that turns this into automatic reality creation. Every thought you think is a form of autosuggestion. You are constantly programming your subconscious mind with the messages you repeat most often. The question is, are you programming it deliberately or accidentally? Most people practice negative autosuggestion without realizing it. I can't afford that. I'm not good enough. Things never work out for me. I always mess up. They repeat these phrases so often that their subconscious accepts them as instructions and begins creating evidence to support them. But Hill discovered that the same principle works in reverse. And here's where it gets profound. Positive autosuggestion, practiced with emotion and repetition, can reprogram the subconscious mind to create success instead of failure, abundance instead of lack, confidence instead of fear. Charles M. Schwab used autosuggestion to rise from a $1 sumains dollars per day laborer to the president of U.S. Steel. But he had a specific technique, 7 words that he would repeat in a particular sequence that I'm about to share with you. If you love this truth as much as I do, definitely press that like and subscribe button, because we're about to go deeper into the mechanics of mental creation that the elite have guarded for centuries. Every morning and every night, Schwab would repeat his goal with such conviction that his subconscious mind accepted it as fact and began working to make it reality. But it wasn't just repetition. It was the exact emotional frequency that made the difference. Your autosuggestion must follow 3 principles. First, it must be repeated. The subconscious learns through repetition, not through understanding. Second, it must be emotional. Emotion is the language of the subconscious. Thoughts without feeling are like seeds without water. They don't grow. Third, it must be believed. You don't have to believe it's true now, but you must believe it's possible. Stand up right now. Say these words with power. I am the master of my thoughts. My mind obeys my commands. I create my reality through controlled thinking. Say it again. Feel it in your chest. Let it resonate through your entire being. But this is only scratching the surface. Let me reveal the 4 pillars that every master of mental creation has used. Now I'm going to share with you the exact system that every wealthy, successful, powerful person in Hill's study used to command their thoughts. These are not suggestions. These are laws. And when you follow them precisely, mental mastery becomes inevitable. The first pillar is awareness. You cannot control what you cannot see. Begin monitoring your thoughts like a security guard watching surveillance cameras. Notice what thoughts arise most frequently. Identify the patterns. Catch yourself when your mind drifts into negative territory. But here's the technique they don't want you to know. Set an alarm every hour. When it sounds, ask yourself one question, and this question alone will transform your mental discipline in ways you can't imagine yet. The second pillar is interruption. When you catch a destructive thought, stop it immediately. Don't debate with it. Don't analyze it. Don't justify it. Simply say, stop, and redirect your attention to something constructive. The third pillar is replacement. Nature abhors a vacuum. When you remove a negative thought, immediately replace it with a positive one. Have an arsenal of empowering thoughts ready for deployment. I am capable. I am learning. I am growing stronger. Seat. But the fourth pillar, this is where the real magic happens, and it's so simple that most people dismiss it, yet so powerful that it can change your entire reality in 21 days. The fourth pillar is reinforcement. The thoughts you want to dominate your mind must be fed daily. Through repetition, through visualization, through written affirmations, through spoken declarations. What you reinforce grows stronger. What you neglect grows weaker. John D. Rockefeller built his empire on these 4 pillars. He was aware of every thought that entered his mind. He interrupted thoughts that didn't serve his purpose. He replaced doubt with certainty, and he reinforced his vision daily until it became unstoppable reality. Let us go deeper into how this creates what Hill called mental magnetism. Hill discovered something that modern science has now confirmed. Thoughts are things. They have energy. They have frequency. They have the power to influence not just your own mind, but the minds of others and the circumstances around you. When you hold a thought with sufficient intensity and emotion, you broadcast it into what Hill called the ether. This isn't mysticism, it's mental magnetism. Your dominant thoughts create an invisible field of influence that attracts people, opportunities, and circumstances that harmonize with those thoughts. Think of your mind as a radio station. Whatever frequency you broadcast most consistently is what you'll receive back from the universe. Broadcast thoughts of abundance, and you attract abundance. Broadcast thoughts of lack, and you attract lack. Broadcast thoughts of possibility, and possibilities multiply around you. But here's the crucial point that separates the masters from the masses. Most people are broadcasting randomly. Their mental radio station plays static instead of clear signals. Their thoughts contradict each other. They think abundance in the morning and lack at night. They think confidence on Monday and doubt on Tuesday. The masters of thought control broadcast with consistency. They choose one frequency and stay on it. They think the same empowering thoughts so repeatedly that those thoughts become their default mental state. Napoleon Bonaparte understood this principle. Before every battle, he would visualize victory with such clarity that his generals could feel his certainty. His thoughts of triumph became so dominant that they infected his entire army. They didn't just believe they would win, they knew it. And that certainty became self-fulfilling prophecy. But what I'm about to share next will revolutionize how you use this power in your daily life. No man thinks alone. Every mind is influenced by other minds it comes into contact with. This is why your environment shapes your thoughts, and your thoughts shape your environment. Hill discovered that when two or more minds come together in harmony around a definite purpose, they create what he called a mastermind, a third mind that's greater than the sum of its parts. This collective thinking power can accomplish what individual thinking cannot. Andrew Carnegie understood this principle perfectly. He surrounded himself with men whose thoughts aligned with his vision. Together, they created a mental force field so powerful it revolutionized an entire industry. But the principle works in reverse as well. Negative minds create negative masterminds. If you spend time with people who think small, doubt constantly, and focus on problems instead of solutions, their thoughts will infiltrate your thoughts. Their limitations will become your limitations. You must choose your mental influences as carefully as you choose your food. Feed your mind with thoughts from great books, inspiring conversations, and empowering content. Starve it of negative news, pessimistic people, and limiting beliefs. Let me now give you the exact daily practice that will install these principles into your subconscious mind. Mental mastery is not achieved through occasional effort. It requires daily discipline. Just as physical strength comes from daily exercise, mental strength comes from daily mental exercise. Here is your daily thought control routine. And when you follow this for exactly 30 days, your entire mental landscape will be transformed. Before you check your phone, before you speak to anyone, before you engage with the world, program your mind. Read your definite chief aim aloud. Visualize your goals as already accomplished. Feel the emotions of success. This sets your mental frequency for the entire day. Set an alarm to go off every hour. When it sounds, ask yourself, what am I thinking right now? Does this thought serve my purpose? If not, what should I be thinking instead? This builds awareness and keeps you on track. Before sleep, review your day's thoughts. Which ones served you? Which ones sabotaged you? Make mental notes for tomorrow's improvement. End with positive autosuggestion, so your subconscious works on your goals while you sleep. Once per week, evaluate your overall thought patterns. Are you thinking more positively than last week? Are your thoughts more definite, more focused, more purposeful? Adjust your practice based on your results. Theodore Roosevelt followed a version of this routine. Every morning, he would spend time in what he called mental calisthenics, deliberately directing his thoughts toward strength, courage, and action. Every evening, he would review his mental performance and make plans for improvement. But now comes the moment of truth, the one decision that will determine whether you become a master of mental creation or remain a prisoner of mental chaos. You now possess the knowledge that has created more wealth, more success, more achievement than any other principle in human history. You know Edison's three-word command. You understand Carnegie's mental formula. You've learned the 4 sacred pillars. You've discovered the daily practice that installs mental mastery. But knowledge without application is powerless. The thoughts you think after reading this will determine whether you become a master of mental creation or remain a servant to mental chaos. Stand up right now. Yes, right now. Look yourself in the mirror if one is available. Speak these words with absolute conviction. I am the master of my thoughts. My mind is my kingdom, and I rule it with absolute authority. I choose thoughts that create abundance, success, and power. I reject thoughts that create limitation, doubt, and fear. My thoughts obey me, and through controlled thinking, I create whatever I want. Say it again. Feel the power in those words. Let them reprogram your mental software. Let them establish new law in your mental kingdom. Write these words down. Post them where you'll see them daily. Repeat them every morning and every night. Let them become the constitution of your new mental government. You are no longer someone who hopes for better thoughts. You are someone who commands better thoughts. You are no longer someone who reacts to mental impulses. You are someone who directs mental energy. You are no longer someone who is ruled by emotions. You are someone who uses emotions as fuel for purposeful thinking. This is not positive thinking. This is not wishful thinking. This is controlled thinking. This is mental mastery. This is the skill that separates those who create from those who merely consume, those who lead from those who follow, those who build empires from those who work for empires. Lincoln mastered his thoughts so completely that he could remain calm in the storm of civil war, clear in the chaos of national crisis, and confident in the face of universal doubt. His mental discipline saved a nation. Edison controlled his thoughts so precisely that he could focus for hours on a single problem, ignore thousands of distractions, and persist through thousands of failures until he illuminated the world. Ford directed his thoughts so powerfully that he could envision mass production before the technology existed, hold that vision against all opposition, and manifest it into reality. You have the same mental capacity they had, the same potential for thought control, the same ability to create through controlled thinking. The only difference is that they learn to make their thoughts obey them. And you're learning it now. If you apply these principles, if you practice this discipline, if you make thought control your daily obsession, your life will change in ways you cannot yet imagine. Ideas will come to you that never came before. Opportunities will present themselves that were invisible before. People will be drawn to you who ignored you before. Resources will flow to you that were blocked before, not because of luck, not because of chance, because controlled thoughts create controlled results. But this requires a choice, a definite, final, irrevocable choice. You must decide right now whether you will be ruled by your thoughts or rule your thoughts, whether you will drift mentally or direct mentally, whether you will be a victim of mental chaos or a master of mental creation. The universe is waiting for your decision. Your future is waiting for your choice. Your dreams are waiting for your command. And if this message spoke to you, subscribe, This is just the beginning of something deeper, something higher, something real. Because thought control is not the destination, it's the vehicle. And where we're going next will transform not just how you think, but who you become. Say this one final time. I choose to be the master of my thoughts. I choose to create my reality through controlled thinking. I choose to make my thoughts obey me. Now make that choice real through action. Control your next thought, then your next, then your next, until thought control becomes thought mastery, until thought mastery becomes reality creation, until reality creation becomes your new way of life. The master of thoughts has awakened, and his name is yours.